Hey everyone, in this video, I would like to cover problem 57. All right, so let's jump into the question. Sine pi cosine x. All right, so we have sine pi cosine x. Well, that turns out to be 1 for x staying between 0 and 2 pi. For x staying between 0 and 2 pi, okay? Now, we need to find the sum of the solutions to this equation, and that should be equal to k pi, right? So I would say the sum of solutions, it becomes k pi, and I need to find the value of k. Well, that seemed to be an integer. So when do we really get sine to be equal to 1? Well, probably we're going to get something in one solutions, I would say, but we got to check, right? So when do we get sine equal to 1? We get either pi over 2. So for an instance, we can get something like cosine, sine 2k plus 1 times pi over 2 equals 1 for some integer k. Of course, they're not the same k. I just wrote down that we can write down some odd, like odd multiples of k. Or shall I say, yes, plus minus 1? Yes, plus minus 1. It could be sine pi over 2, it could be sine negative pi over 2, it could be sine 3 pi over 2, and so on. However, we need to distinguish it into two parts. Sine, well, that could be something about like just pi over 2 equaling 1, and at the same time we can give you sine 5 pi over 2 equaling 1, and we can give you something like sine 9 pi over 2 equaling 1, and so on. So in other words, if the number that we see here, if you divide it out by 4, if you have the remainder of 1, then it's great. Or you can actually get negative 3 pi over 2, negative 7 pi over 2, and so on. Right, but at the same time, we can actually get something like 3 pi over 2 equaling 1, negative 1, and at the same time, we can get sine 7 pi over 2 equaling negative 1, and dot, dot, dot in that order. So we can actually find out all those numbers out there, and of course, these numbers that we see here, it's going to give us specific values for pi cosine x. Now, you know that x is staying between 0 and 2 pi. All I need to do is just to make sure that pi cosine x, well, first off, they're stuck between pi and negative pi, right? So because they're stuck between pi and negative pi, the only possible value that makes sense is just going to be pi over 2, I would say. So because of this condition, we get pi times cosine x. Well, that turns out to be pi over 2. All right, so thanks to what we have here, cosine x, well, this turns out to be 1 over 2. Now, cosine x being 1 over 2, you can actually solve for x, saying that that's going to be just like pi over, I would say pi over 3, or probably 5 pi over 3. Why 5 pi over 3? Because that's going to be 60 degree and 300 degree. If you add up all these numbers, well, we end up getting 2 pi. So what's the value for k? I would say the answer becomes 2. And that shall be it.